Well, they try to undermine legitimacy of the newly elected president, which should be Hillary Clinton. They try to weaken her position, to have her having serious row in the domestically, to weaken her position in her deal with Russia. So that was the goal. Instead they got Trump winning the election, which was a very unpleasant surprise.
That was an unpleasant surprise for them, you think?
Yeah.
They wanted a destabilized Hillary, not a Trump.
Yeah. The Trump was just spoiler. They did not plan to have him as a partner.
That's a really interesting cock-up theory of history. Now, what then do you think was going on? I mean, none of us know. So this is in the realms of speculation. What would be the kind of hypothesis of what might have gone on between the Russians and the Trump campaign? What would be the suspicion? What are we looking for? What are we trying to see?
Well, I think that Russia did try to collect some compromise on Trump, to use him as a sort of some hook for other intelligence operations. It was very good to have him as a source of possible compromise on other politicians.
On others?
On others.
So you think they got something on Trump?
Yeah, I think so.
Because
he was owner of a chain of hotels, and hotels are a perfect place to carry out some intelligence operations. But to carry them out, you need the security of the hotel to keep blind eye.
And we should say that you have no evidence for this. There's no intelligence. This is
not. Surely not. It's just logic.
This is your speculation.
Yeah.
It's interesting you say they probably didn't mean to get Trump, because it doesn't seem to be working very well for them. Because if you actually look at what Trump is doing, everyone's saying, aren't they being nice to the Russians? The only thing they've actually done is say we're going to spend another $50 or $60 billion on defense, which leaves the Russians standing. I mean, the remilitarization of the US, you've got the remilitarization of NATO, which he's urging. That is not great for the Russians, is it?
It is not great, but that is not the worst thing which Trump already done to Russia. The problem is that Trump destroyed the very foundation of the Russian policy towards the West. It was the belief and knowledge that the West would act in the very predictable way. So Putin can always play this threshold war, not crossing red lines, and having reaction which can be predicted because the West plays according to the rules. Trump is not going to play according to the rules because he does not know these rules. And secondly, it's terribly difficult to predict where Trump's red line lay. And so you can cross it just because of miscalculation, which is dangerous for Russia.
Right. So Trump is actually playing a game more like the Russians have played with all sorts of other people, and suddenly it's actually quite difficult.
Yeah, fundamentally it's very similar, and that is why Trump is dangerous for us.
But if Trump did lift sanctions, if there was a significant easing of sanctions, that would be a huge help to the Russians at this point, correct?
It might be. The problem is that Trump is a businessman, and he does nothing for free. So to make some service to Russia, lift sanctions, he wants something in return. And the problem is that Russia does not have too much to propose to Trump as the payment. Yeah. So Trump will do nothing. Do you think,
do you see big likenesses between Trump and President Putin? Obviously people say they're both the big showy strongmen. Are they the same?
Well, they do have some fundamentally similar attitudes. Some nature is very similar, but that is the danger. Because if you make it simple, it's two Harlem boys meeting each other, and they can befriend each other. But it's much more real, much more probable that they will fight each other, because that is their nature. Two alpha males. Well, Russian saying is, two bears cannot live in one hole.
Igor, it's a very different perspective. Thanks very much indeed. Thanks.